Welcome back, everybody, to Recap Worlds. Today, we're diving into Marvel's Black Widow. We're talking Natasha Romanoff on the run, a long-lost sister assassin, their weirdo fake parents, and taking down a creepy floating fortress. Buckle up, it's action-packed, emotional, and finally gives Natasha her solo spotlight. So picture this. The year is 1995. Ohio, not exactly where you'd expect a Russian spy thriller to start, right? But here's the deal. We've got Alexei Shostakov, who's basically Russia's knockoff Captain America, but with more vodka and questionable life choices. Then there's Melina Vostokov, a legit OG Black Widow brainiac. They're pretending to be this super normal American family with two little girls, young Natasha Romanoff and Yelena Belova. This family is on a mission to steal some top-secret SHIELD intel, which is the blueprints for mind control juice. Fun, the escape, pure chaos. They bolt to Cuba, kids in tow, expecting medals or something. Instead, their boss, the absolute slimeball General Dreykov, is like, "Thanks for the spy stuff. Now say goodbye to your fake parents, girls. It's back to the Red Room for you." The Red Room is basically Assassin Hogwarts, but way more traumatic and with zero chocolate frog. Little Yelena is weirdly psyched, and little Natasha is utterly devastated. Fast forward many, many messy years, Alexei is locked up in a Russian prison. Why? Dreykov probably got annoyed. His super soldier kept bragging about fighting Captain. Cut to 2016. Natasha's having a rough week, like monumentally bad. Because the Sokovia Accords. Remember that whole Avengers Civil War fiasco? Tony Stark was like, "Yeah, government oversight, sign this." Steve Rogers was like, "Hell no." They had a massive airport-destroying brawl. Natasha was team sign, but then switched sides to help Cap and Bucky escape. Big mistake. Now she's public enemy number one, dodging Thaddeus Ross, that grumpy general guy who wants her in a super max jumpsuit. She bolts to a safe house in Norway, courtesy of her kinda flirty SHIELD buddy. He's her go-to for hideouts. And probably decent takeout. Meanwhile, back in Assassin Land, Yelena is doing Yelena things, namely, taking out a rogue Black Widow. During this fun little mission, she gets doused in a synthetic gas. Plot twist, this gas neutralizes the Red Room's mind control chemicals. It's like her brain suddenly reboots. She yanks out her creepy tracker implant, cooks up some antidote vials, because why not, and mails them off to Natasha, hoping Big Sis and the Avengers can free all the other brainwashed widows. Then she ghosts, disappears. Classic Yelena. Natasha, cruising along blissfully unaware with the vials in her car because Mason retrieved them from her Budapest hideout, gets ambushed. By who? Only the terrifying Taskmaster. This silent, mirror-masked badass mimics any fighting style it sees and is basically a human VCR of violence. Car chase ensues. We're talking screeching tires, near misses, Taskmaster flipping onto her roof, Natasha using every trick in her spy handbook just to stay alive. She realizes Taskmaster wants the case with the vials. Natasha barely escapes, finds the vials came from Budapest, and thinks, "Yelena?" She races to Budapest, finds Yelena hiding out, and cue the most awkward family reunion ever. Yelena drops the bombshells that Dreykov is alive, and the Red Room is still operating. Dreykov is a monster who kills most of the little girls taken for training, like 19 out of 20 don't make it. Yelena is pissed and ready to burn it all down. Before they can really catch up, more brainwashed widows attack, and Taskmaster shows up again. Cue another frantic escape sequence. Hand-to-hand combat in tight corridors, lots of grunting, strategically punches to the face. They barely make it out, meet up with Mason again, and he hooks them up with a helicopter. Yelena reveals the antidote recipe came from Melina's generation of widows. The target is clear, end Dreykov in the Red Room permanently. But where is Dreykov? Time to bust out dear old fake dad. They head to Alexei's Russian prison. Breaking him out is pure glorious chaos. Imagine Natasha and Yelena trying to be stealthy while Alexei, pumped to be free and reliving his glory days, punches his way through guards like they're cardboard cutouts, singing Soviet anthems loudly. It's equal parts badass and hilariously embarrassing. Once free, and after Alexei complains about the prison food and his lost physique, they ask him where Melina is. He points them to her farm outside St. Petersburg. They roll up to Melina's place, expecting Mom? Instead, they find Melina, the science queen, living her best life with pet pigs refining the very mind control chemical process Alexei and she stole from SHIE all those years ago. Awkward. Yelena confronts her. Your science juice turned me into a puppet. Natasha throws in the guilt trip about abandoning them. Melina drops her truth bombs that Natasha wasn't abandoned and she was selected as a baby for her genetic potential. Her real parents were paid off, but her real mom kept searching for her, threatening to expose the Red Room, so Dreykov had her killed. Yikes. Just as feelings are hitting DEFCON 1, Melina pulls a fast one. She alerts Dreykov. His goons swarm the farm. Big fight. Widows as widows. Alexei throwing haymakers. Pigs probably squealing in terror. Natasha, realizing Melina might be salvageable, makes a desperate plea to her to help her kill him. And it works. Using some nifty face mask tech, Natasha and Melina switch places. They get captured anyway, along with Alexei and Yelena, sedated, and wake up in the Red Room HQ, which is no longer some creepy basement, but a giant floating sky fortress. Because why not? Comic books. Inside the Sky Death Star, Melina frees Alexei and Yelena using her science know-how to hack their restraints, probably. Dreykov confronts Melina, who is actually Natasha in disguise, and immediately sees through it. He then reveals the Taskmaster is Antonia, his daughter. Natasha's Budapest bomb didn't kill her, but left her horrifically scarred. Dreykov saved her by implanting tech in her head that records and mimics fighting styles, creating the perfect, emotionless weapon. Brutal. Natasha tries to attack Dreykov, but hits a wall, literally. He installed a pheromone lock in every widow that makes them physically incapable of harming him. Natasha's solution? She smashes her own nose, severing the nerve. The pain must have been unreal, but it works. She can fight. Chaos erupts as super strength meets adaptive combat. Alexei is trying to talk her, but she's just kicking his ass with moves stolen from Cap, Black Panther, probably Hawkeye. Lots of property damage. Melina decides the best way to help is to blow up one of the Sky Fortress's engines. The whole place starts tilting. They manage to lock Taskmaster in a cell temporarily, while Dreykov tries to bail in his escape jet. Brainwashed widows attack Natasha. Yelena, being awesome, hits them with the antidote gas, freeing their minds mid-fight. Suddenly, the attackers are just confused women going, "Where am I? Why am I punching Scarlett Johansson?" Natasha races to Dreykov's computer while the fortress is literally crumbling around her, downloads the global locations of all the widows. She grabbed the last 2 antidote vials and, showing major compassion, frees Taskmaster from her cell. After that, Melina and Alexei jump in a plane to escape, but it gets damaged, so they can't go back to help the girls. They bail out safely. Yelena spots Dreykov trying to escape in his jet. She grabs a big pole and jams it into his engine like a boss. The jet explodes, taking Dreykov with it. But the explosion blasts Yelena off the crumbling deck into freefall. Natasha sees this and, without a second thought, leaps after her sister. They are plummeting towards Earth, debris and fireballs raining around them. Natasha manages to get a parachute onto Yelena. Then, Taskmaster, freed but still programmed, attacks Natasha. Mid-freefall. Yeah. They're tumbling through the sky thousands of feet up, trading blows while falling. It's insane and visually stunning. Kicks, blocks, grabs, all while gravity is doing its thing. Natasha eventually subdues her without killing her. They crash land, relatively safely because superheroes. On the ground, Natasha uses 1 antidote vial on Antonia, freeing her from Dreykov's control. She gives the last vial and the widow locations list to Yelena. Go free them all, little sister. The family shares a bittersweet goodbye. Alexei, proud. Melina, maybe a little remorseful. Yelena, teary but determined. They leave with Antonia and the newly freed widows. 2 weeks later, Rick Mason, still crushing hard, hooks Natasha up with a Quinjet. Her next mission? Breaking the anti-Accords Avengers out of the Raft prison. Setting up Infinity War, we jump to after Natasha's sacrifice. In Endgame, Valentina visits Yelena at Natasha's grave. She manipulates Yelena, blaming Hawkeye for Natasha's death, and essentially assigns Yelena to kill him. Setting up Hawkeye series. So, yeah, as Black Widow, it's got fake families, real trauma, sky fortresses, mind control, sisterly bonding through violence, David Harbour being a hilarious himbo, Florence Pugh stealing every scene, ScarJo doing her badass things. What was your absolute favorite parts in the movie? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. And hey, if you had fun watching this recap, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Recap World for more awesome TV show/movie discussions and breakdowns, and ring that notification bell so you never miss our next video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.